guys, welcome back to our channel today. So today I'm going to be talking about the new Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, as well as showing you guys some swatches of all the shadows in there and teaching you how to do this eye look right here. So stay tuned. Alright, so the Modern Renaissance palette is the newest palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's filled with tons of beautiful shades. Woo! And you also get the brush in there. The minute I saw this palette, I was like, oh my gosh, I need this in my collection. I just love like the color combinations that they have in there. With this, you can make it to like, you can use this for very neutral looks. There's a lot of like matte shades in there, a lot of matte neutral shades, so you can really make a nice neutral look with it. The berry shades are some of my favorites just because they're so easy to incorporate into an eye look. And Anastasia definitely killed it with this one. This palette retails for, I think it's $55 Canadian, which I don't think is that bad for a palette like this. Her shadows are super soft, super buttery, super pigmented, and you get this brush in there, which it's a very good brush. The blending brush is really nice. The shader brush is really nice. You can use this to detail a bit, shade some color on your lid, under the eye. You can use it for anything. And most of the time when you do get a brush of the palette, sometimes it's not that great. So I do really love this. You get 14 shades in here. I believe most of them are matte and they're all so beautiful. Again, you are going to be getting that same Anastasia formula with them. Super buttery, super pigmented. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say about the palette because it's great. Again, I love it. I think it's so worth it. And for $55, I mean, there are palettes out there that cost more, that you don't get this many shadows in, this many wearable shadows. So I think this is a great buy. So starting off with the swatches, we're just gonna go from top to bottom. So we're just gonna go this way and this way. So starting off, we're gonna get Tempera, Golden Ochre, Vermeer, and Bon Fresco. Sorry if I butchered these names. So right here we have Tempera, super pretty. Let me see if you guys can get a better look at that. Tempera, super pretty, like a nice kind of neutral shade, great for highlighting the brow bone, highlighting inner corner, anything. It's a nice matte shade. Here we have Golden Ochre, again, super neutral, really good transition shade in there. This one is Vermeer, super shimmery, super pretty, I love it. And then this one is Bon Fresco, a nice kind of like grayish tone mauve. I really like it. Alright, here we have Antique Bronze, very pretty shimmer shade. This is Love Letter, super pretty, like a nice matte magenta color. This is Cypress Umber, super pretty, super dark for a matte brown. And then this is Raw Sienna, again super nice crease color. Alright, then right here we have Primavera, another super nice shimmery shade. Here we have Red Ochre, which is kind of like a deep burgundy. Here we have Venetian Red, which is very similar to Love Letter, except it has some reflex in it. Here we have Warm Taupe, super, it just makes you feel warm. And then here we have Regular, which is just like a nice orangey shade. I'm just gonna do some swatches on my arm for you guys so you guys can see them all. Alright, here we have the swatches all along on my arm. We have the first shade here, which blends into my skin tone, so probably isn't the best. Probably is hard to see, but it is super pretty. Then we have Golden Ochre, Vermeer, Bon Fresco, Antique Bronze, Love Letter, Cypress, Raw Sienna, Burnt Orange, Primavera, Red Ochre, Venetian Red, Warm Taupe, and Regular. Super pretty. I love all of these. They did turn out, the swatches, sorry that my swatches turned out kind of weird. I definitely I have more like light to medium skin, but I think all of these colors would look good on any skin tone, whether you're very fair, very dark. All of these colors look really nice. I love those berry tones. I feel like they can make a look very sexy, very colorful really fast. So I highly recommend this palette. Again, it's $55. I got mine at Sephora. I thought it was great. So starting it off with the eyes, we're just going to be taking the NYX eyeshadow base. Is just a very skin colored base. We're just going to be putting it on the eyes just to block out any discoloration and to prime them. So I'm just going to be taking that on any old concealer brush that I have. And just kind of buffing that into the skin. You don't want to take too much primer because it can kind of do the opposite if you have too much primer on. And then I just like to buff that out with a beauty blender. Then to set that, I just like to take any skin color or translucent powder and just run that all over my eyes just to set all of that. So I'm just going to start off by taking Warm Taupe in the palette and putting that on a Morphe M505 brush and buffing that into the crease. It's going to be used as our first transition shade. Then next up we're going to be taking Regular in the palette. It's that nice kind of corally shade. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's really nice. Just taking that on a Morphe M303 brush. And again, just blending that into the crease, bringing that a little higher. Next up, after we have the creases where we want it to be, then going to be taking this blending brush. I'm going to be taking a blending brush. This is from Walmart. This is just an eyeshadow blender brush. And I'm going to be then taking a little bit of red ochre and putting that just on the outer V a bit. And then I like to go in with that same brush that we used on Regular and just putting and blending that in all together again, just in case I missed any lines or there's any harsh edges. I just like to constantly blend. Then on this Crown blending brush, I'm then going to be taking probably my favorite shade in the palette, which is Love Letter, and putting that into the crease just to bring in a little bit of pink in there. Then when I'm all done building up that intensity, I then take the brush that did come with the palette, using that blending brush side and just blending that all together in again. Then taking any old flat shader brush, I'm going to be taking a mixture of Primavera and Vermeer, putting that on the lid. So we're going to start off with Primavera and just putting that all over the lid and then focus Vermeer more on the center. And you can definitely leave the eye look the way you want, the way you like it, or I like to go in just a little bit darker, so then I would just be taking this smudger brush. I got this one in my Ipsy bag, I don't remember the brand name, and taking that Venetian red color and putting that in the outer V. Next up, we're just going to be tight lining our eyes. We should be taking this ColourPop Cream Gel Eyeliner. This is in the shade Swerve, which is just a black liner. And just tight lining the top lashes and running a thin line across the top of the lash line, and I like to smudge that out a bit. Once we have tight lined, then I'm just going to take that liner and just do a thin line right across. And then to smudge that out, I just like to be taking, you can use any small brush. I personally like to use the Morphe M508 and just blend and smudge that out. You can take a bit of black eyeshadow or whatever you want to smudge that out with. If I have the top of the lid the way I want it to be, I'm going to go do the rest of my face off camera, then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to do the lower lash line. Alright, now that I have the rest of my face done, so I have my face, I have my foundation, my concealer, my bronzer, my highlight, and my brows on, we can move on into finishing up the eyes. So we're just going to finish off the lower lash line. So to start off, we're just going to be taking the shader brush side of the brush that comes with the Anastasia palette and basically doing the same thing that we did on the lids on the bottom lash line. So starting off with Warm Taupe, we're just going to smudge that underneath it. And for the regular shade, we're just going to be taking this crease smudger brush that I got in my Ipsy bag and using that again under the lower lash line. With warm taupe, I went throughout the whole lash line. This one I'm probably going to bring it in about 3/4 of the way through. Alright, then taking this berry eyeliner, just gonna put that in the waterline on the lower lash line. Then taking our Makeup Geek pencil brush, gonna go into Love Letter and put that really as close to the waterline as we can get that. Then I'm just going to be taking some Benefit Roller Lash, putting that on my top and bottom lids, putting on some falsies. I'm just gonna go do that real quick. Alright, I'm just gonna apply my falsies, which today we're gonna be using the Ardell 403 ones. I did have to trim these a bit. They were really long for my eyes, so I'm just gonna apply that and I'll be right back. So now I have my lashes on. I'm just gonna be applying mascara on the bottom lashes again, using that Benefit Roller Lash again, making sure those are really prominent. Alright, now the last thing we have to do is just highlight our brow bone and highlight the inner corner. Probably going to be using, so from the shade I'm just going to be using Tempura. Just going to be taking that on any shader brush and just applying that right under the brow bone. Just to finish off the look, we're just going to be setting our face with some Wet n Wild setting spray. And then for lips, I'm just going to be taking a little bit of my NYX Liquid Suede lipstick in, I believe this is Sandstorm, and just putting that on my lips. So yeah, if you guys have any looks, tag us in them. If you liked this video, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.